Hello, my name is Kristen Gauthier, and I am the very proud principal of Amherst Middle School. I'm coming to you today to speak to you a little bit about what the impact would be for AMS if the Clark-Wilkins building project passes this March. As you may know, last year the warrant article included a building project for Clark-Wilkins as well as Amherst Middle School. But this year, the Amherst School Board has pulled back a little bit and looked at the needs of both schools and determined that Clark-Wilkins is really the focus for the new building project. However, this district, from a K-8, K-12 standpoint, there is really a domino effect if that building project were to happen. So I want to discuss with you a little bit about what that looks like for Amherst Middle School and our students in grades 6 to 8. As someone who has worked in middle schools for the majority of my career, I can tell you that one of the major cornerstones of middle school and the middle school model is that school within a school interdisciplinary teaming model. This is what makes middle school very different from a junior high. When we talk about interdisciplinary teaming, we're talking about students that are assigned to a group of teachers. So for us in the 5th and 6th grade, that is 2 teachers in STEM and humanities, and in the 7th and 8th grade, that is language arts, social studies, science, and mathematics. And so those teams operate as schools within a school, sometimes building in their own schedules and special activities. Students identify as having those teachers and that team and being a part of that area of the building. And so for me, that is something that I am looking to certainly make sure that we are doing here at Amherst Middle School in order to give our students the best experience possible. As you may know, if Clark-Wilkins project does pass, the 5th graders that are currently at Amherst Middle School would instead be 5th graders down at Clark-Wilkins. So traditionally, right now, 4th graders move up to Amherst Middle School after their final year at Wilkins, and that would not be the case. Students would start at Amherst Middle School in the 6th grade. That has been the way it has gone really ever since this school opened. We have had grades 5 to 8. That being said, I would be pretty sad to see our 5th graders go. They are a wonderful addition. I enjoy seeing them every single day, but I also understand and support the reasons why this move would be appropriate for our 5th graders. Currently, our 5th graders and our 5th grade teachers take up about 6 classrooms in one area of the building. Next year, this will actually be a little bit bigger. We're going to be up to 8 classrooms and 8 teachers and 4 teaching teams. The reason for this being that the 4th grade class coming up here is going to be a little bigger than this year. And so obviously, if you're thinking just from a numbers perspective, opening up 6 or 8 classrooms is going to have a pretty big impact on our school. As I said, gaining 6 to 8 classrooms would be incredibly valuable as we develop team spaces within our school. If you tuned in at all last year, you would have seen that our learning specialists were all sort of staged in one room. They had their desks and supplies in that one room. These are the teachers that support many of our special education students. This year, we've worked really hard to extend their presence throughout the building and to put their classrooms more nearby their teaching teams for a variety of reasons. This, I believe, is best practice to have our learning specialists be part of those schools within a school. Unfortunately, though, in order to do that, we've had to put people in conference rooms, in offices, and in closets in order to do that. So we do have students in areas where they are learning well with their teachers and they are making great strides, but ideally I would love to see our learning specialists and our students have access to bigger classrooms for these support blocks. Having 4 grades in our building also sometimes limits our ability to do bigger functions. Also to change our building schedule. So if you're familiar at all with the Amherst Middle School schedule, having 4 grades means we have 4 separate lunches. We can fit 1 grade of students in the cafeteria, which is anywhere from 140 to 170 students comfortably. We can fit about 4 times that in our gym right now. It tends to be kind of tight. We can fit 1 class in each set of bleachers. We have 2. And then we can fit the rest of the school on the floor sitting. Not necessarily the most comfortable, but certainly in a pinch, if we'd like to do a school-wide assembly, we can make it work. Decreasing that population would obviously give us a little bit more flexibility when it comes to utilizing our large spaces and also doing our scheduling. If you've been following along this year, you may have heard about us dealing with our fair share of facility challenges. We have an extremely dedicated staff of facility and maintenance workers that support us each and every day, and they are the first ones there when anything goes sideways. So I want to thank them. That being said, anytime we have a leak or we have an issue with a heating system, it's not great, right? We experienced a Labor Day flood earlier this year. We've experienced roof leaks every single time it rains. And some of that has had small impacts and some of that has had bigger impacts for displacing classes. And so we would like to get to a place, along with the Amherst School Board and along with the SAU, we're going to be working to address those things along the way more gradually rather than a full school renovation. We're going to be taking some time and taking some funding to take a look at the roof and see what we need to do to make that watertight. We're going to be looking at our ventilation units, making sure that some of them, which are 20 years old to 48 years old, are working properly and safely and can be maintained in a way that provides equal temperature for all of our classrooms, as well as limits the chance that we're going to have some sort of failure or leak. The other piece that has come up in the past is the shapes of our classrooms. The very famous term that has been used around here is that we have pizza-shaped classrooms, and that is true. Our classrooms have walls between them, movable walls between them that allow us to be flexible, open up the walls if needed for larger group activities in those teaching spaces. Unfortunately, these walls do not always work. They do not always open and close flexibly. They do not always block sound from the neighboring classrooms. And they're really old and they could really, to be honest, use some replacements. So we're going to be working over time to try to improve the quality of those areas as well. And really all of this, when we talk about the roofs and we talk about the rooms and we talk about unit ventilators and we talk about windows and keeping this place watertight and airtight, we're really looking to minimize disruption to our students and our teachers. We're really looking to give students sort of the optimum learning community so that we can focus on learning and growing instead of focusing on the building around us. So I really do appreciate your support of the Clark Wilkins building project. I think it will have good results for Amherst Middle School as well as we look further into the future and try to improve the quality of our education and the quality of our student experience here at Amherst Middle School. Thank you so much.